Lisa Stanley from OSCRE. Tell me a little bit about this new data governance learning lab that you guys have created.
Well, we're excited to be launching this in New York City, July 23rd and 24th. And over the past couple of years, we've realized that there's been a need for focus on real estate-specific training in data governance. So we built a completely web-based program that provides a lot of flexibility for participants to access it when and where they can. It also reduces the barriers in terms of cost to travel. And it was very, very well received. We've had as many as 50 participants from individual companies in various parts of the sector of both service providers, government, and users. And we looked at it and we said, you know what, we really need to be able to provide a more intensive opportunity for...
We'll have to get that fixed. It's a broken chair. After Lisa's done, she's aware of it, but one of the casters is off. Thank you for catching that. Amazing.
No problem. So that we could provide an opportunity for people to fast track that base level of understanding of data governance. It's the same topic that organizations everywhere are struggling with. There's more and more data. What do we do with it? And just as importantly, how do we build the skill set within our team to be able to affect the change?
Sure.
And that's Learning Lab takes the core information from the web-based program and expands it to include more use cases, a case study, and they will actually complete a project in that 2-day program that they can take back with them. So we're really excited about that.
So when a participant engages in Learning Lab, are they going to New York? Are they doing it online? Are they doing it virtually?
Great question, Jerry. They're going to New York.
Okay.
And we encourage people to send teams so that they can collaboratively work on the project from their organization to be able to get an even stronger start in the next step of implementing data governance within the organization.
What benefits do a company receive when they send their teams to something like the Learning Lab? What's the overall benefit at the end of the day?
At the end of the day, it enables the organization to be better stewards of the information that they're collecting, to figure out the difference between the information that gets derived from the data and just looking at the sheer amounts of data that are collected across platforms. And as we're looking at organizations, part of what's really fueling that is the increase in mergers and acquisitions, where companies come together, they're on disparate systems, and I like to say disparate systems sometimes lead to desperate people in trying to manage that process.
Sure. You've done so much for that homogenization, if you will, that sort of standardization of data. When you look back at the work that you have done and that OSCRE's done over the past 10 years, plus years, what's some of your proudest achievements?
I'd say there are several, and let's start with the improvements made to the OSCRE standard. Over the last 24 months, we've gone through, to use a term that is used frequently in this industry, transformational change. So we've gone from siloed standards to a reference data model that's fully integrated. And part of the benefit of that new approach is it's much easier to implement. It includes 90 use cases, so you can actually click on the problem you're trying to solve, and it shows you where in the data model it's addressed.
Right.
That's a huge achievement.
Sure.
And as part of that achievement, we have a press release coming out today that announces the implementation of the OSCRE reference data model in a platform that is been developed by VTS with an ERP. So that's really big news, because at the end of the day, the true test of standards is the level of implementation.
Right.
And I think it's a strong, powerful statement of support for the importance of standards and also for the OSCRE reference data model to be able to address that need.
Yes.
Brookfield Properties, who is well represented here, is one of the organizations that has been the client for the implementation. So there's a session this afternoon from 2 to 3 where the panelists will talk specifically about data integration and some of the aspects of that particular project that I think a lot of the people in this room will be able to relate to.
Thank you, on behalf of the industry for making sure that what is. What we say is one piece of information truly is a piece of information so that it's actionable, you know?
Well, we really appreciate the support from the industry because it really is the industry that's driving the change. OSCRE is a convener. We don't advocate on behalf of a particular platform. We don't advocate on behalf of a particular approach. We're more Switzerland-like, I guess, in terms of neutrality. But we recognize that being the convener enables us to draw people from the owner-occupier space, from the service provider space, software developers and consultancies, to come to the table and collaborate on the big issues that the industry is working with. And out of that is, I guess, one of the second thing that we're most proud of in the last 10 years, and that's creating the Council of 100. The Council of 100 is a group of 100 organizations that agrees to convene, collaborate, and work on the big issues that are facing the industry. So the topic that we're working on right now is on how to build a digital ecosystem for real estate. What types of things, what skills are there? And oftentimes, organizations have the will, but not necessarily the skill within their teams. So we're exploring that. Our next meeting actually is less than 2 weeks in Chicago on June 25th. So if we have any folks that are interested, please contact us. And that group really has become, I guess, best describe it as the visionary and the innovators that are willing to come together and talk frankly about what their challenges are, and more importantly, take action to move forward and address them. And then lastly, but not least, is certainly the education component.
Sure.
And I think those three things are really areas that we've concentrated on that aren't addressed by other member-based organizations, but in which we can work collaboratively. And I sound like I'm saying collaborative a lot, but frankly, the real estate industry has been a little reluctant to embrace technology. So having a collaboration, I think, to a large degree, helps reduce that level of risk.
Yes.
Helps organizations increase transparency, and ultimately helps the interoperability, that exchange of information, work more smoothly, that enables organizations to have better outcomes, helps them reduce costs, and certainly addresses that transparency issue as well.
Fantastic. Lisa, thank you very much for bringing trust, dependability, transparency, ultimately higher standards for better collaboration. OSCRE is well loved, and so are you. Thank you very much for being here.
Jerry, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
You got it. Lisa Stanley from OSCRE, our last guest of the morning here at Conference Live.